Hello, welcome to Just Prime. As part of this video, we are going to see GitHub Copilots. So nowadays, we can see everywhere we are listening this GitHub Copilot in terms of development, software development. So as part of this video, we are going to see what is a GitHub Copilot, so how it will work, the key features, and where to use the GitHub Copilot, and finally we are going to see the limitations of GitHub Copilot. First, let me go to show you what is GitHub Copilot. So before going to understand what is GitHub Copilot, so let me go back one step back. So in our software development lifecycle in day to day, so what we are going to do, we are going to do like writing the code, creating a document, writing a chain of test cases, and fixing some of the bugs, right? So these things we are doing a daily activity, and the same things what I said earlier, like writing the code. So many times we are writing the some of the boilerplate code like toasting generation, constructor, some of the predefined algorithms, rewriting or copying the code from the different places and creating the documents and writing the standard kind of joint test cases. And finally, you need to test your code, and when you are testing, you are seeing some of the issues and you are fixing yourself. So now you can imagine to do all those things if you have a one of the software or a tool or a plugin which will work with you and which will answer to you whenever you ask a question or whenever you face a problem or whenever you ask you to generate a common boilerplate code. So that can be done with the help of GitHub Copilot. So now come back to the main question. What is a GitHub Copilot? So GitHub Copilot is a AI-powered developer assistance tool. It was built by OpenAI and GitHub together. So basically, it uses some machine learning algorithms, models to generate code snippets or similar kind of functions or algorithms. Or if you give a problem, it will give a solution as well, and it will ask you to generate. If you ask to generate a JUnits or a documentation, it will generate for you. So kind of finally we can say in a nutshell, GitHub Copilot is a powered assistance tool for the developers which can help you for a given problem and which can suggest you, which can improve the code as well. If you give a set of code or code base, it will try to analyze it and it will give you suggestions. And end of the day, it's a powered tool. So we should be very careful when we are using it. Okay. So at the end, we are going to see the limitations. So in a nutshell, let's say about GitHub Copilot. Okay. Next, we will try to understand the second point, how it will work. So basically, so this GitHub Copilot is built on OpenAI. It's trained on a lot of models, and we can integrate the popular tools like Visual Studio Code, and JetBrains related tools, and Novim. So basically, you can integrate this GitHub Copilot into popular tools. Then seamlessly it will scan your code and it will apply the corresponding models and will try to fetch the solutions. It could be anything like document creation or change generation or to fix any compilation issues or any code analysis and come up with a better solution. So this can be done with the help of this tool which you can integrate with your IDEs, and this analysis can be done in the cloud side. It will not happen in your machine, but this analysis, these problems, this generation will be analyzed before giving solution to you at the model side in the cloud environment, where really the analysis will happen with the help of model, then the solution will come back to you. Okay, so that's the way it will work. With the help of a tool you can integrate to your popular tools, then the solution will come back to you. So that's the way we are going to use it. So now go back to the third question. What's the key features? What is the main advantages we are getting when we are trying to use this Copilot? So that we are going to see it over here. So once you integrate this GitHub Copilot into your popular tools, so you will be getting help in terms of auto completion of some of the code what you are trying to write, and it will generate a multi-line of code as well, and it will create a documentation for you, and also it will analyze your code, and if there is any suggestions or if there is any improvements it can suggest you. And another thing, it can suggest or it will work with different variety of technologies like Python, JavaScript, Java and lot more. And also it will work with different variety of tools, IDEs like Visual Studio, IntelliJ, PyCharm, WebStorm, Visual Studio as well. So there is a lot more like Golang, whatever, right? So it will support variety of tools in common what we are using it in our day-to-day life, so that you can integrate and you can use it. So these are the some of the tools what I mentioned over here, but it will support a more, and these are the technologies which will support, but it is still more. So these are the key features of the GitHub Copilot. So now go to the fourth point. The final question is why to use it. So what is the advantages you are going to get it? So when we are trying to use GitHub Copilot, so obviously your perform productivity will be increased because it will generate lot of syntactical or boilerplate code, and it will debug your code to find the solution. So there indirectly your productivity will increase, like documentation it will generate. You don't need to keep typing, and you don't need to search for better documentation or comment lines, a single line or multi-line it will generate for you. And the next point, it will enhance your learning in the sense it will generate some of the times some of the algorithms and documentation, from that you can learn it, so it will work as a pair programmer for you. It will understand your code and it will understand your intention and it will support you with a better way to write. So that means indirectly you can enhance your knowledge as well. So now go to the third point. It will support multiple languages. Like I said before, it will support Python, JavaScript, HTML, Java and different technologies. And again it will support multiple tools what we discussed it before: Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio, IntelliJ, Eclipse directly it will not support, but we have a third party plugin, we can integrate Eclipse as well. Okay, so these are the some of the benefits you are going to achieve it when you are trying to use the GitHub Copilot. Now come back to the fifth point. So this is very important, we need to understand the limitations of GitHub Copilot. So the first we need to understand, it's not perfect. It is not giving 100% right solution. And finally, when we are getting the solution, we need to revisit it and we need to see, do we see any issues we can occur when we are applying the solution what it got suggested. But still we have a glance the solution what it got provided. We cannot assume it's 100% accurate. At end of the day, it's a powered assistance tool. Okay, it's not perfect, so you need to keep this point in our mind, right? So now come back to the second point. In terms of data privacy, it should be very critical. So like I said, so the every solution or every problem what you are asking, so the solution will be derived from the cloud. So the data it will take the cloud and it will run it against the models and it will try to generate it. So that means, so we should not give any sensitivity information to it. So we should be very careful when you are giving the data to this tool what kind of information we are sharing, because at the end of the day it will go out of your work platform and it will try to execute it to derive the solution. So there we need to be very careful in terms of what kind of data we are sharing. So now the last point, in terms of, it's not free to use because it's a subscription model tool, and but for to entertain development activities or to achieve to integrate more people into this tool, for students and trainers it will be free. You'll be getting the free license for some time, but for a professional usage, so we need to pay the license. Right now you can see the $10, $100 per year, but whenever I was recording the video, this is the fee, but it may vary plus or minus when we are watching this video. So this is the final way we can conclude this video. And if you like the video, you can subscribe the channel for more subsequent updates, and thank you so much.